This is my third video on drilling transitions for belly dance. In this one, I want to look at drilling for weight transfer and also music choice. Hi, I'm Kashmir. Transitions. Now, drilling shapes is pretty easy in that you usually only have to tell someone once or twice and they get it. And you can see pretty easily if they've got it wrong. Drilling weight transfers is a wee bit different. It's not as obvious. So it's a wee bit harder. Complicating everything is the fact that with weight transitions, often an issue is strength. So when you're doing weight transitions, it's often a small period when you actually got your weight just on one foot or one side of your abs. So if you haven't got enough strength to do this, and I find this, I have a favourite exercise I use with beginners where they actually use a big hip circle and they use it to do a 180 degrees. If they haven't got the strength to actually do the circle on one leg, they can't do it. And with most beginners, for my beginners anyway, they tend not to be dancers. They're not strong people when they first come. So how do we build up the strength? Hey! Drilling. Yep. Along with everything else, as well as actually getting the flow of the dance, your drilling will actually start building up the strength needed for drilling. Weight transitions, for some reason, as I said before, seem to be much more difficult. So even something as simple as walking, okay, where's your weight? Is it forward or is it back? And then you start doing sideways stuff. So for a lot of, when you're travelling sideways, as you realise, if you want to come back the other way, there's a number of ways you can do it. You can just put your 2 feet together and then go back. Well, maybe you want to do something in the middle just to break it. But what is quite nice is to do some sort of weight transfer to actually get it over. So where is your weight? Always ask, where is your weight? Sometimes just bring it to their attention. You always get that one wrong. Where's your weight? It's on your left leg. Why is it on your left leg? It should be on your right. And go through. It's on your right here, it's on your left. Okay, and when you finish, it's on your right. So then you can go, And sometimes that's all it takes. Sometimes you need to repeat it more than once. It just depends on the student and it depends on the move. Whereas it's often obvious when our body transition is wrong, it's not always obvious with a weight transition. It can be they'll end up walking off on the wrong foot. Now that's an obvious one. But sometimes it will just be something really clumsy because they're on the wrong foot and they realise it and they correct it. Or they're hesitating because they know they should be taking off on their left, but the left has got the weight on it. So just look for those hesitations, look for that clumsiness and see if you can spot it and help them out. Don't let them struggle for 3 minutes with the weight on the wrong foot with their combination. Actually help them out. Actually point out what it is. If necessary, stop, get everyone together again and to move on. And when we're talking about weight transitions, a lot of the weight transitions are in the pelvis. You need sometimes to point that out. People are so used to actually walking or changing weight by moving their legs around. And belly dance, that's not quite so common. We tend to use the pelvis to actually move our directions. So for this reason, I introduce circles, weight changing circles quite a bit. So they will change direction on a circle or change direction on a horizontal figure 8. So they get the idea that the pelvis is leading, not the foot. So directions. Limit the number of direction changes in a combination, especially with less experienced dancers. One direction change is usually enough. Otherwise, you'll have people going all over the place. Similarly with turns. If you've got a turn in a combination, generally speaking, just leave one turn and have more time not turning than turning so people don't get dizzy. And you need to actually check that they are doing the right turn. So we are doing a 3-step turn. That is a swivel turn. That is a jazz turn. We want the correct turn. So make sure they are actually using their feet as required on any turns. It's important that you pick the right music for your combinations. It should be at the right pace, it should have the right texture. There's many pieces that I really like, just simply can't use in class for drilling, because you want something that is reasonably, reliably boring, but not so boring as everyone falls asleep. So you want a reasonable beat, you want a correct speed. I have a playlist that has a range of music in different speeds and different textures. So this is another thing you can do. You've done your combination, it's starting to look quite good. You've added your arms, you've added a few interesting variations in direction. Seem to be getting it all under control. Okay, now let's try it with a different piece of music. When you do it with this piece of music, how do we have to change it to make it fit? Now sometimes it might just be faster or slower, which is fairly boring really, but sometimes the texture's different. You might have a different attitude. You may have also gone from something that was really ethereally, beautifully isolated to something that's quite bouncy and quite a different feel to it. So make sure that you're not just drilling mindlessly. I mean, I don't just mean watching yourself in the mirror and making sure you're doing the combination right, but also listen to the music. The music is part of it. Don't make the music nothing more than a drum machine. It should be something interesting. Well, that's more than enough. I think I've actually done more than enough for one video as it is. There will be more videos on drilling combinations, but they'll be a wee way off yet. If you want to see all my teaching tips, they're in my playlist. I have a playlist of teaching tips. Please make the most of it.